Hello and welcome to Leashed Dad's podcast. I am Jared.
Hey, I'm JJ, or Justin.
Either one, we are two leashed dads that get together to discuss our everyday life while chained to our parental responsibilities. And tonight is the last episode of 2023. Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know where the year went. I assume I lived it. Couldn't tell you if I did. It's just one of those years, kind of like 2021, that just gone.
It's like, honestly, it's like every year. It just disappears.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel 2020 dragged on for obvious reasons, but
We don't talk about those reasons.
yeah. But yeah, no. So yeah, tonight we are going over our accomplishments for 2023. For the podcast as well as ourselves personally. But in the meantime, I hear things are a little nuts by you. Is everything all right?
Yeah, it's nuts. Kids don't know how to
Yeah.
take care of kids.
No.
Yeah, try to take an hour away and you get chaos.
Well, explain an hour away from. Oh, get an hour away.
Yeah,
For that.
as
Yeah.
such. At least, maybe not necessarily always an hour, but at least get some time away, like, to do this.
Yeah.
Doesn't always happen that way, as you've seen in past episodes, with, baby making an appearance, which is fine. But doing our best. It is Christmas vacation, so hopefully they can last, especially when there's
That it
three
is.
boys to take care of a little girl. And if worse comes to worse, she'll still make an appearance. Never putting that to shame. I love when she makes an appearance, because she does make. I think she makes and breaks the show sometimes. But yes, so it's just a little chaotic right now in my house, which is whatever. But nope,
It
nothing there.
happens. I've had
It
a few of
does.
those nights myself.
I'm surprised you actually kind of made it on time this night.
Natalie's home. She's not working today.
Oh, she is off tonight. Okay, well that helps. So, yeah, but it is what it is. Unfortunately, my luck has run out where Sam actually has to work tonight. Unlike the past two Wednesdays where I've had the opportunity to escape, um, and she's been able to watch the
Yeah.
kids. So, I knew it was going to happen. I knew that was going to happen eventually. And I was actually expecting it last week and not this week, but, it is what it is. So, house is in chaos, but that's okay. Maybe. But, you know, I'll be right back. Hold on.
Okay. While JJ takes care of his insane household, I guess I will start off with my week. It really just has been another one of those that kind of just flies by. Instead of stressing over big picture projects as well as just big picture ideas like I used to, I'm really just taking each day at a time, each moment at a time, and each task at a time, just piecing it one by one instead of letting myself get carried away. Which actually, on the plus side, not only reduces my stress, but reduces it feels like the day goes by quicker when I just focus on individual little things instead of the big picture and things going on that I can't control. So, oh yeah, and there's a little one, as we just mentioned, with cute hot chocolate and donut pajamas.
Yes. Yeah, she's
So,
wearing she's all ready for bed.
nice. Yeah, I was just telling these kind people that I was just it's been one of those weeks where it just flies by. And I was explaining why, just take it day by day, hour by hour kind of thing. So Christmas went well. I'm not gonna bring up the shortness of it. Let it go. Anyway, but no, it was nice. It was great to spend time with my family. The kids love their gifts. We got Antonio, so he's home. and you got to see some of my mom's side of the family, that was Saturday. It was actually either Saturday or Sunday, but we started a tradition. My cousins and my aunt and uncle, we decided to start a tradition of after Christmas lunch, we play cribbage. I don't know how to
Nice.
play,
Ooh,
so my aunt next to me, I have two other cousins that are just smidge younger than me. So it's good to have those guys growing up, and it's good to reconnect with them. But yeah, I love cribbage is fun. I really enjoyed it, and I will definitely break out my board that I have laying here and learn how to do some more. I I got the gameplay itself. It's just the point counting system I still need to get in my head.
work on
Yeah, because
it.
I wasn't the one
That
moving
is
the
the.
pegs. That was my uncle.
Your uncle moved the pegs for you. That's so nice.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
yeah.
If you get once you start getting more and better and better at it as well, or you start playing against people that are less forgiving, um, like so I play, Sam plays, um, our friend Matt plays cribbage. Like he is big into cribbage. Like him and his dad will play it. Those two, when it comes to points, they can look at your hand and be like, "Bam." They're like, "Yep, that's 12 points." And I'm still
Wow.
like they've already, and not to mention they've already counted their hands and pegged,
Yeah.
and I'm still sitting here trying to do it. So I know you're paying in that sense. Like I know the points, I know how the point system works. It's just still making sure that I've got everything, and they're like, "Yep, confident," and
Yeah.
they're confident enough to say, "This is what you have."
Oh, and that because they could be jerks and just say and just leave it as it is as you count your own points, and then you can have less, you can count less than you actually have, and they could just shut up about
Yeah,
it, right?
and then they can,
Yeah.
if you want to play that way as well, they like if you count points and you miss points because this is an actual thing in cribbage. I think that if you like play in tournaments and everything or competitively, if you count and miss points and the other like player or players, because you can play three-way cribbage,
We
um,
played four.
that's difficult
Yeah,
unless
it
you're doing
was.
teams. But
Well, so yeah, sorry,
um,
it was teams. It was teams.
yeah, but you can do three people cribbage.
Okay.
Um, but if they wanted to be that way and you miss points and they catch it and be like, "Yep, nope, you've actually got this," I believe they can take the amount of points you've missed.
Shut up, really?
I'm pretty sure that's how that works.
Damn.
Um,
Okay.
if you have a smartphone, I would say download a cribbage game app to help practice.
Okay.
I do have a cribbage app on my phone. It's different. Don't touch the
I'll have to
cords.
do that.
It is slightly different because you can it can like they'll give you tips and tricks on if you do easy mode, like it's give you like easy, normal and hard or whatever expert. Um, and at like easy, I believe I haven't used it in a while, but I think if you play an easy, it can help you count the points as well. Or there's options to do that, or there's options to do this if you do miss points. And you only play against the computer.
Yeah.
So that's also the thing. But yeah, it's just one of those things I recommend play. If you want to get better and try to learn more about it, that's definitely a way to go. It also
Okay.
teach you your suboptimal plays. So if you had a hand and you played it this way, at the end of the game, it'll show you like the summary of the entire game. It'll say these were your suboptimal plays because you missed. You could have had this many more points
Okay.
based on the way you played versus the
Yeah.
way you should have played. It's interesting to see that way, but it's not always the way it works. Um, no, I mean Christmas though it was great. Kids had a good time. We've tired ourselves out from it. Um, from Saturday to Monday, we kind of just did a lot of things. Sunday we spent over at Sam's aunt's house, my aunt-in-law,
Nice.
and then Monday, uh, we had Christmas at our house with a big group of people. And by big, I mean we had our family, Sam's aunt, Sam's uncle, and then three other people. And mind you, our house is small, so and
Right.
then we ended up cooking like eggs, bacon, and hash browns for everybody. So it was. I
Nice.
went through 4 packs of bacon.
Wow, that's what, 4 pounds?
Yeah, roughly. Yeah, about 4 pounds of bacon. Sadly, you know what? There was some left over. Usually, there's not because I can
Darn.
between my family, like just the kids and myself and Sam, we go through 2 pounds alone. So the fact that that we went through 4 pounds and still had some bacon left over, oops. But we didn't have any eggs left over. We didn't have any hash browns left over. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, the fact that we still had bacon, I'm like, oh, I guess I can make bacon or use this for sandwiches or something. But yeah,
BLTs,
Christmas went
MF.
well. Yeah, BLTs. Boop, boop, boop. This little girl had some fun. Uh, she didn't. It's interesting to see how much they show interest in gifts. Um, she definitely showed some interest in the gifts when they were wrapped still. Like she wanted to. She started trying to play with wrapped gifts that were by the tree. But then
Ah,
when it came time to actually unwrapping them, she really hadn't. She didn't want anything to do with them, but she did want to play with them. So it's a good sign. Ow, that hurts, little girl. But yeah, so I think overall it was successful. Um, I look at it this way though. My work week is short because of the holidays. At least this year.
yeah.
So it'll be weird because I only have 3 day week. Like since today's hump day and tomorrow's my like Thursday, tomorrow's my last day of work for the week. So
You lucky son of a bitch.
I know, right? It's so nice. But yeah, no, I think overall the kids enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed it. We've got big plans coming up here for New Year's as well. Uh,
Ooh, share.
we've so it's still the annual thing that we do at my parents' house, where my dad likes to cook for a group of people. Uh, I will always call that big plans because it's like we spend time over there. We spend probably like from 5 to midnight, so about seven to so hours, um, doing things on New Year's Eve. But yeah, and then not to mention the kids actually get to open up some more Christmas gifts on that day from my aunt and uncle who are coming into town. Just for a brief moment, they're going to come in so the kids can open their gifts. Um, and then those two are going to basically depart from there, which will be fun. But that's really the only way that the kids would ever get to open their gifts because my aunt's a little
Yeah.
controlling in a sense where she wants them to have their gifts and be able to see them open their gifts versus like, oh, you could have just sent the gifts with my parents when they went down to Milwaukee and then come back and let them open their gifts. So it is what it is. I'm not going to argue as long as they get, as long as they get to have fun and open more gifts, it's fine by me. Um, yeah, the one thing I'm actually really well. There's a few things I'm really excited about, but the one thing I guess, that made me fairly giddy was I got a Snuggie.
Oh, sweet.
I got a Flamin' Hot Cheetos Snuggie.
Nice.
It is awesome. It's my first Snuggie ever, and it's just like, yep, this is great. And I mean, I wanted it too. So, they were selling them at Walmart, and my aunt-in-law got me one for Christmas. So it's nice. I've used it already a couple times, um, and it's just yeah, it is. I know people will probably go, "Why the heck would you want it?" But it's like, yeah, Snuggies are great. And now I can officially say I've been in a Snuggie. So yeah, the kind of like Christmas and just a week in general. Um, I've exhausted myself from that week, and I don't think I've recovered. Children are still sick, so it makes it difficult to recover at all. Um, which is yay joy. So, isn't that right? Isn't that right, baby? But yeah, so that's kind of the week there. Um, I'd also say that's kind of like some maybe proud moments too, where the kids were able to enjoy whatever that was going on. So I'm fairly proud that everything went well, um, opposed to no not going well, uh,
Yeah,
and
as
not
opposed
enjoying
to complete
Christmas.
chaos, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, no, I do want to talk more about accomplishments though for 2023. So, I think there's a lot, like you mentioned, talking about like maybe the podcast itself, um, and other things as well. People, if you want to share, I would love to hear your thoughts. I'm sure Jared would love to hear your accomplishments or, um,
Yeah.
things you think you have succeeded on over the year. Um, and it doesn't have to be big by any means. It can be small, where you felt really good about yourself for doing something. Um, yeah, let us know, and we'd love to get it into the show as well. So, um, without further ado, let's talk about this: the meats, the goodies, everything like that. For 2023, I know it's all probably been a blur to a lot of people now, since we're looking at 2024 already here. But I kind of broke mine down a little bit here based on like dad partners being like you and myself, and maybe um, just some other things too, like social life in a sense, like partners and friends or whatever you want to call it. Uh, I did career as well, and then even spousal or like uh, husband wife kind of thing, or your significant other. Just kind of creating ideas there, right? Um, and then for me, I want to start like with an accomplishment here for Sam and myself. We're going 5 years strong, or we've been 5 years strong. So that happened around August, um, and obviously looking for more to come. Um, but we've also started taking more time. Oh, you're tired.
Aw.
No, you're
I think he
tired.
was gonna say take more time for themselves.
Yes, I was. Take more time for ourselves. Um, excuse me, folks.
Yeah, so I actually started doing that a little bit with Natalie. Now, there was a year, and I believe, sadly, Jesus, this was post-COVID where my Christmas gift to her was every month we have a date night, right? Every month. Um, and that was when we only had one child, I believe. Yeah, that was when we had Eleanor, so it definitely was easier to do it at that point in our marriage. Um, but I'm actively trying to get more stuff to get together as a family. Do more stuff as a family. For instance, Christmas gift to the kids. We plan to take a trip. The kids have been on and on about going on an airplane, and it's not that expensive. I mean, yeah, it'll gouge you if you're not careful, but you just gotta pick the right dates to fly out and where to and all that stuff. So, um, I really would like to try and take those once a month date nights to a whole new level, and turn it into once a month weekend maybe if possible. And it doesn't even have to be going anywhere. It could just be a weekend at home, just relaxing and have the kids go elsewhere, and take a weekend just to get shit done around the house. Because as you dads and moms all know, when the kids are around, and especially if they're not super independent and they're young like mine, Jesus, you can't get nothing done. Like we have so many projects around the house that we could just easily spend a month straight doing projects. But um, so JJ, to fill you in, I just told him I spent a little bit less slash more time with my wife over the past year, um, kind of branching off what you did. So continue on. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. So uh, it's nice when we're able to find somebody to watch our children, especially if we have plans.
That's
Because we
yeah,
went and saw uh, earlier this month. We went out and saw Beetlejuice. Right. So
classic,
great.
classic.
It was great watching it at the PAC. Um, Definitely, not exactly kid appropriate either. Did see some young children or did see some youngins in the audience. Um, but that's parents, right?
Yeah,
They you choose your own, you choose your what to do with your children. I'm not harping on those people. I'm just saying we wouldn't have brought our children to the show at all, um, as we know that it can be lewd uh, and whatnot. So yeah, no, spout being able to spend some more time like that, a couple more date nights here and there is always nice, um, even if it is just for a couple hours. We've been working on doing that. I feel like it is difficult, yes, when you have young ones such as this one right here, who is just drinking away at her milk. Um, it can be difficult, but you also try to make it work. Um, I think sometimes we get in the mindset that we don't want to leave her out of anything, or we don't want to leave her and feel bad about it, because it's almost
yeah,
like we want to be there for every waking moment, essentially. Um,
right.
which I get it, right? You don't want to miss things either. Um, and then you don't also want to be the parent that's like, I'm going to pawn them off every chance I get either. That's how I feel. I don't want to always pawn them off and be trying to find time for myself, but it is essential. It is critical. Um, yeah, sure, we may miss things, but we also know at this point of time where she should, kind of like what she will be doing most often, like where is at in life, right? Like right now, she's still trying to work on walking on her own. She's got she's got carts or push toys, things like that, but she's not like walking. I don't think she's got the confidence yet to actually try to take those big steps without any kind of support. And we're
Yeah,
not going to push it either. It just
no.
comes when it comes. Um, so she's getting there by all means. I'm sure she's going to do it one of these days. Um, but at the same time, those are always the fun milestones for that you don't necessarily ever want to miss, but you do
Yeah,
from time to time. So um, spousal opportunities there. Even trying to do projects like you mentioned. Uh, we've tried to do some things. We do make time to play video games together still. When we're both off or one of us gets home from work or whatnot. Now, mainly me coming home from work and her already having the game up and running and whatnot. That's always a nice thing. And then I just hop in with her, um, or do whatever. We kind of are still in the same vicinity as each other and able to do that stuff or play video games together. So, right there, it is kind of like um, time together, even with the kids around. So, never a bad thing. Um, but yeah, that's what I've got for like kind of spousal things. If you guys aren't married, that's okay, right? You don't have to have a spouse by any means. Um, but we know obviously those are different types of accomplishments then too. Um, Parenting is a huge thing, right? Uh, what? Talk to daddy. Yeah, you're tired. Are you hurting? Are you teething? You're teething. Do you need Do you want your milk? Okay. No. Okay.
no, she
Yeah,
doesn't.
she's
That was
she's
a
teething
hard
again.
pass.
She's teething, so it's kind of and she's got
Oh,
like RSV and everything right now, so it's never helpful.
no, poor
I know,
girl.
baby. Yeah, this is like a moment that I'll never miss. get to cuddle with her. Hopefully, it'll never go away.
But you will
She'll always want
miss.
those. Yeah, it
You said
won't.
you'll never miss it.
She's daddy's girl. Yeah, I'll never miss it. No, I will miss it. You're
No,
right.
you will.
I will miss it. I will miss it when she gets older.
Cold-hearted bastard. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna miss
No, I
this when
said
she gets older and doesn't want to cuddle anymore. So,
right, and I
but I'm
actually said
daddy.
that exact same thing to myself too recently, because I do get kind of annoyed when the kids climb all over me and whatever. But that's just I thought to myself afterwards is that wait, this like a one-time thing. They'll only want to do this for like another few years, and then poof. So I got we have to take this time with our kids, just to be close with them because the older they get, the farther away they go, and so.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely some perspective there, for sure. For sure.
Yeah. No, I will miss this. Um, but I think all the time she'll always come back to daddy, like when she needs something, or she'll have me wrapped around her finger. So, like she kind of already does. But what's up? You want this? Yeah. Yep. 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 I
And
know
now
it.
you want it.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is. Uh, so as far as like dad, being a dad, accomplishing things. Again, proud to be a dad of a 1 year old now. Just recently turned one, so made it through a nice long 1 year for her. But I've also been working on trying more, or I feel like I've had more opportunity now to really balance hanging out with the children and doing things around the house or whatnot. Um, with the you know with being able to even get out of the house again or not feeling trapped anymore. Um,
Yeah.
and by doing this, I mean, yeah, sure, we had some snow where we are able to go outside, build snow forts or like tunnels for the kids. Um, always we've have like a annual pass to the building for kids. I think that's actually expiring here shortly, so we'll probably have to renew it. Um, but that was one thing we always did was take the kids out for a few hours, take them to the building for kids, let them play around there. Um, Getting the children involved in a Pokemon club. So we've been collecting a lot of Pokemon cards recently, but uh, for the past few Saturdays, we've also taken them out. Or sometimes we take all the kids. Other times it's just Kane. But we'll go to the um, a card shop and we'll go to the Pokemon Club and where you can trade Pokemon cards with other people, or you can battle or do things as well.
Nice.
So um, it's good. It's a good time. But kind of feeling more connected with the children again like that, rather than just like dad's here. What do you want to do? You can do whatever you want, and blah blah blah. Being able to make those connections and not necessarily be like I'm just a deadbeat dad essentially, and do nothing with my kids. Just make sure they're okay. Kind of like be a I won't say deadbeat dad. That's a bad example. But like being more like a glorified babysitter, just sitting around
Yeah.
making sure they're okay or whatnot, um, and not doing anything bad or misbehaving by any means. So um, that's something I feel like I've accomplished in the year 2023 here. Is again continuing that um, sense of connection and relationship. Um, Not so much friendship, right? Where they always want to do something and you say yes or whatnot, but just knowing that you've got some boundaries, just parental boundaries at the same time as you're still willing to do something and have fun with the kids. So
Yeah, I like that. It's good. Kind of had similar similar thing happen. I obviously have more ways to improve, but it just actually happened within the past 2 months. So yeah.
yeah, a few months. What about you? What are some things you've felt really accomplished of this year?
Are we doing the whole thing, or just separating it from the kids
Oh, I
and
just whatever you want to talk about. I mean, I'm just kind of going off of some of those things. So whatever you want to really talk about, it doesn't have to be off of those that I mentioned.
so I'll take your divide and conquer thing. So as far as be a dad, things that I've done over the past year that have changed, that I accomplished, taking that long trip to my in-laws, aunt-in-law's house with just Antonio and Eleanor. That was something that I was scared shitless for because I don't have a lot of confidence in my ability to take care of my kids by myself. And as weird and as bad as that sounds, I just didn't have enough experience with it. I've always had Natalie or grandma and grandpa with me or whatever, never by myself. And of course, I still was scared because in this instance we were out in the middle of frickin' nowhere with no cell service, and if something went wrong, you had to drive 20 plus minutes just to get to civilization. So that was nerve-wracking, but it was very rewarding. I would definitely do it again, maybe with some sort of satellite phone or something. I don't know.
Or just get better reception.
Yeah, oh, yeah, or make sure that wherever I'm going has good cell phone reception for sure, for sure. So that was a big accomplishment that I did this year for that. Um, I I took on the challenge with Natalie working out of the house. Since the kids were since Cora was born, Natalie had been at a work from home parent, and obviously so was I. But obviously, as you all know, she took a different job. Kind of trying to find what she wants to do in the meantime, and just try something different. So, with her trying something different, that gave me the opportunity to connect more with my children, as well as take care of the house while she was at work, which of course, like I just said, it was totally new for me, and it is still kicking my ass, but I can clearly say that it's done. I'm doing it, and I haven't had any bad things happen yet. I guess, I don't know. Kids are alive, they're healthy, so um that is the dad stuff. As far as I want to put this into my family thing as well. As I mentioned earlier, I have two cousins that are really close to my age, and growing up, we were super close with each other. Seeing each other once every 2 weeks, if not once every week, just hanging out. Especially in summertime when we didn't have school, we were always hanging out. And I made sure to reconnect with one of them. I tried to reconnect both of them, but my other cousin is just way too freaking busy, and I can totally relate to that. He lives in Oshkosh, which is about an hour plus away from here, and it didn't work out. But anyway, I reconnected with my other cousin, and I took the time out of our busy. We both took time out of our busy schedules. We, grilled, we talked, we hung out, we had some laughs and some good deep conversations about where our lives were and everything else. So I'm really glad I was able to do it this year. And in fact, at the Christmas party, we agreed to do something in spring, set aside a weekend way far in advance, so that Austin, my cousin who lives far away can't back out. So, because he's too far away. So,
Nice. I like it.
yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. No, I.
So before I get
Those are
into
some good things.
myself, what about you? What,
Um.
'cause I did family, wife,
Yeah.
kids.
So I guess just kind of in life. Kind of off of like a partnership or social aspect here. It's kind of I would say we're still going strong here with the podcast. Um. definitely have some ups and downs about uh, just you know, sometimes we're just not feeling the greatest, right? Um, I'm just still glad we're doing this, doing something we're still passionate about. Um, Still trying to build a community as well through that. Um, I'm glad that I'm actually out of the house again for, work wise, rather than being stuck behind basement walls for 8 hours a day. It does change a person's emotional, um, I guess emotion. It just changes you. Or I feel
Does.
better about myself rather than crappy all day every day, knowing that I'm actually at home 24, basically 24/7. And if I'm not at home, it's because I'm probably shopping or taking the kids to like their sporting event or some sort of practice or whatnot. Um, and then that's only like an hour long, if anything, and it just then you come back and you spend the rest of the day or a night in the house, and you're like, yeah, great, I'm gonna do the same stuff over and over again. It just did not, doesn't work sometimes. So the fact that I'm actually starting to get somewhat of a social life back, it feels good. I mean, I've got a Christmas party coming up for work here in January, which is sad. But
Yeah, it
story
happens.
long behold, my boss, he wanted to have the Christmas party in December, but a lot of people kind of said no because there's just too much stuff going on in December, basically. So we all came up with, I guess, an agreed upon date of um, the 4th. So we're having a Christmas party on the 4th,
Cool.
and we're going axe throwing. So yeah, we're gonna have fun. It'll be really fun because I've done it before, and we'll see how well everybody else does it when they're drinking. But
Yeah.
I don't know. As far as partners, I think social life is still a nice thing. I've done. Let's see here. You know, getting people involved in our podcast too. Uh, Trying to build with guests and whatnot. So appreciate having guests on our show rather than just nothing at all or just us all the time. Not like we're bad by any means, but it's nice to have a third perspective as well. You, I know you are one of the guests. You're like a returning guest. Yeah,
Yeah.
a crabby returning guest tonight, but um, what can we say about that? Uh, she's fighting going to bed and whatnot. So, um, yeah,
No.
as you can tell, and she's probably hurting, but yes. So, um, other than that, life. Let's see. Just trying to keep everything organized, I guess. Hey, hey, rest your
Yeah,
head, little
that's
one.
hard, keeping things organized. Ugh, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was my
Sometimes I
baby.
wonder.
I don't. It's an organize of chaos.
Yeah.
So, as long as I know what I'm doing in a chaotic manner, it's okay. It works out in the end. So, yeah. No, and the other thing I did want to talk about as well, and of myself, is the fact that I did mention the career. Um, it's nice knowing that I went from uh, or finally took that big step of a career change. Uh,
Ooch.
and to me, right now, I'm at that point where yes, I'm enjoying it, um, and getting away from something I've been doing for so long. I know I'm still part of the customer service, which is weird, as I don't think you'll ever escape customer service. Once customer service, always customer service. Essentially, like I worked at McDonald's for 10 years. Took me time to switch. It took me 10 years to switch. When I was working with high school people that were my age, my peers, all of a sudden they hit like a certain age and they were changing jobs. It's like great. I haven't been exactly like I enjoyed the loyalty aspect as well. Being loyal to a
Yeah.
company can be rewarding. Um, but it can also be a downfall too if you know if you're trying to do something that uh, doesn't have anything to do with it, but you just don't have the cojones or the balls to make a move. Um, but I'm glad I made that big move here to go into a different field. But at the same time, customer service as like a McDonald's employee, I was doing customer service there. Sales is also still another aspect of customer service. I think everything is an umbrella of customer service, or the customer
Well,
service is
yeah,
your massive umbrella, and then everything is underneath it. So, um, like sales is just a form of customer service. You're providing a service to those other customers. Being an assistant or in the dental world, right? I'm providing a service to these people that need braces and maintenance
right.
on their braces. So, um, it's just how you look at it. Maybe I'm looking at the big picture and be like, yep, customer service, you're never escaping it once you start working. You're just segmented in the way. So,
Right.
um, no, but I'm glad I made a career change because it's making me happier, um, compared to what I was normally here, with just being in sales and it driving me nuts. If maybe I've also thought about this too. Maybe if I was in sales still, but had more than just one item or something to sell again, it would be a lot easier, or it wouldn't be as um, stagnant. I wouldn't
Yeah.
get so bored. Um, but if like I was in the dental sales, so I was selling different products, which is fine. It's more dynamic because people need different things in a dental world or like a dental office. Um, so it's not like I'm selling just toothbrushes all day long or car services all day long.
Right.
Um, but that was the big change too. So um, I feel like it's a lot better in that regards. I've also started thinking, I'm like, maybe I further my career in dental and start maybe consider going back to school and maybe becoming a dentist. I don't know. I don't think I could do that. I don't think I will do that. Um, there is maybe I want to go to school for hygiene and become a
Yeah.
hygienist. Um, but who knows? I mean, the one problem with becoming a hygienist, I won't call it a problem because it's not really a problem. It's more so as an assistant, you do things or different things day in, day out. Whereas a hygienist, you're coming into your job and you're doing the same thing over and over
Same
again for
thing.
eight,
Yep.
9 hours a day, just on different patients. So, and like I said, I'm not going to call it a problem because it's not a problem. It's just you could possibly become bored of it. Um, But who knows? I mean, you still may run into different scenarios while you're doing the hygiene. So you may have some really good patients that have very good hygiene, and then you may have other patients that are very poor hygiene. And we still run into
Right. I
that even
mean,
as an assistant.
no two mouths are the same.
Exactly. So it's always nice. But yeah, that's what I have for accomplishments. And those are just kind of some of the big ones that came to my mind. Um, at now. I mean, what are some other accomplishments that you have, or things you might want to talk about as an accomplishment?
So let's be honest. I told JJ when we started thinking about this podcast, I really don't have a lot of accomplishments, and they're not huge. Okay, I didn't change jobs. I didn't have a baby. Well, if I did, I mean, there'd be articles written about me, but we didn't add to our family. We kind of took this year to look within ourselves, and that is one of my items is that I did a deeper dive into finding who I am and shedding all of the bullshit that I went through as a child, a teenager, and even a young adult. just to look at those events that took place that affected me in a negative way, and critiqued my behavior and likes and dislikes because of that. So because I'm a people pleaser, because I don't like to stand out in a crowd, I hide a bunch of stuff about what I really like just to try to fit in, to have a better conversation with somebody. Like, for example, there was a year, like post COVID, right before COVID and a little bit after COVID, where I was really into football. I fucking hate sports, okay? But for some odd reason, I felt necessary to drench myself in Packers gear, go and want to go to Packers games and go to bars to watch the games, and just so I could have something to talk about with other people at work. Well, I I have never enjoyed watching football, and frankly, I find it kind of pointless. But that's just an example of something that I tried to change about myself to fit in more. So coming into my, awakening and coming into unlocking jarred potential, uh, I, I lost who I was. For example, another example, in grade school, fifth grade, I enjoyed watching Scooby Doo, the classic Scooby Doo in the morning before school, right? And I saw this really cool metallic Scooby Doo backpack. Boy, did I freaking get just bullied and made fun of for that thing. And that was it. I didn't like Scooby Doo anymore because didn't feel like I fit in. So going through that kind of stuff, really this year has, sunk myself deeper into what I enjoy. For example, I'm just giving examples left and right tonight. For Christmas this year, I got the Office Lego set. I'm so excited and going and building this 1,100 piece thing. I'd bring it to you guys to show, but I don't want to break it. Um, Building it just brought back so many cool memories, and please, the writers and the creators of this set are just smart and ingenious, because as you build it, you go through each like iconic episode and build something or have something in the set that gives ode to that episode. The same with, I also a long time ago got the Legos Friends set, Central Perk. So I built Central
Hmm.
Perk over Christmas, and again, as you go through the steps and build it, you unlock thing. You go through the bags and you find like Joey's man purse or satchel or whatever, and Chandler has a laptop, and Gunther's in it, and you build the espresso machine. And Ross's keyboard too. So it's just stuff like that that I really, it's so cool. And then people could accuse me of being a kid again or being childish. I don't give a shit. There are people here, there are adults who are furries, and adults who like to do other, I can't think of, like anime or something. I don't know. There are quirky adults out there, and I was fighting to be one of the guys. I was destroying myself to be like one of the guys so I could have something to talk about when I got together with them. But I'm saying screw it, because it feels better to do things that I like and be engrossed in the things that make me happy. So to anybody out there who thinks this is, being selfish or whatever, I don't really care. And also, took more credit for myself. I gave myself more credit. There are a few moments throughout the year where instead of biting my tongue, I said, "Hey, I don't really agree with the way that you said these things, and the way you come across was kind of rude, and I don't like it. Can we do something to change that?" So I was really proud of myself, proud daddy moment, proud Jared moment, that I'm standing up for myself more as I go through these steps to eliminate what I was trying to be. And when you do that, you build confidence in yourself. because when you surround yourself with things you like, you become whole again. This is who I am, and you can like it or get the hell out of here because I have nothing to say to you. And again, setting up boundaries. I might have talked about that in a previous episode, but when I have more time, please tune into Unlocking Jar Potential on YouTube and enjoy some of that content. Things should, I guess, calm down after the New Year's. I knock on wood. I hope. I don't know. Uh, I cut, I cut the news channels. I cut every single news channel I used to pay attention to out of my life, starting about I think May of 23. And that has been one of the greatest things I've ever done in my entire life. I'm less depressed about the world, and again, focusing on my own life instead of things I can't control. Um, and I cut, again, eating, being healthier. I haven't lost any weight. I don't think I did. But I cut red meat by like 75%. I maybe have a steak every 3, 4 months, if that. And then same with pork. Like I've only had bacon like maybe 5 times this entire year. Um, cut drinking about 50%. I haven't, obviously got it rid of it completely, and I probably don't
Won't.
plan to for a few years yet. I'm not ready to fully give that up. Um, I don't know. It's just
I
one
will
of
say this
those.
though, you don't have to give it up. I mean,
No, I mean,
you've already reduced it. I mean
right,
that right there means you've given up a good amount of it, or you've reduced the amount of time you had to wanted to drink, um,
right,
because you've realized there was there's consequences to it. Um,
right. And also this is a learning thing too with the patterns that I notice when I do drink. I can, for example, again, another example. I'm just full of them tonight, really, truly.
you are full of examples.
So for this Christmas, my family, we all enjoy, a beer or two, just whiskey, whatever. And I noticed the day after I stopped, like let's say, so Christmas, I had a few beers and a whiskey or something, and I'm obviously bitter about going to work, but I noticed I could not, as hard as I tried, my inner monologue wasn't positive anymore. And I've noticed this other times where I've drank. It doesn't even matter what it is. It's just the day after I drink is usually full of a negative monologue, like it has been since since I became who I am. And it was really alarming. And this is why, and JJ, this is why I would want to eventually cut it out. So I don't have that daunting negativity when I need to stay positive.
That's fair. It's definitely a fair thing, uh,
Yeah,
because I mean, if that's a pattern you've noticed, I'll support that. Right, I will certainly support the choice of making it. I'm not going to try to convince you otherwise to not necessarily cut it out 100%, especially if you notice that negative uh, aspect, or being so negative about your life or whatever is around you. You definitely, if you're unlocking jarred potential right there, trying to be more positive in the long run. And if
right.
cutting out any type of alcohol like that is going to help, by all means, more power to you. Then, um, I don't think I'll ever necessarily cut it out. It'll be like once in a while. I don't go balls to the wall like in college or anything like that anymore.
Gotcha.
Um, Never really went balls to the wall in college, but when you get
No.
together and do social things like that and go to parties and you start drinking, yeah, that's not me anymore. Um, I guess I should say it was never really me to go party every weekend, but when you do go to parties, the one thing you were trying to do was get smashed, or at least that's
Right.
what was
Well, that's the
happening to
goal.
some people. Kind of a goal, right? You set a goal. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, let's go get hammered. Let's go get smashed, and hopefully never remember. Problem with me is I never actually really blacked out,
You don't want
or if
to.
I did, I never wanted to. No, and
Right.
I don't think I think I've gotten to points where it probably became really close, but I've never actually experienced it because I've always woken up and remembered what's happened from that party. But I mean, there are certainly exceptions where my bachelor party that was fun, uh, definitely a good time. Um, but just overall, I give you props for wanting to cut it out because of the effects it has on you. There are some
Yeah.
people that
And
just can't control
go
it.
ahead. Right. Right. And it actually doesn't even feel like it used to anymore when I do drink. It almost is like I know what it does, I know what to expect, and I'm not looking forward to the effects tomorrow morning. So, um, last but not least, read a lot in the beginning of the year and finished a lot more books, large books, about ancient history, as well as some kind of off the wall Dolores Cannon, her take on life after death with through her hypnosis patients. Um, Interesting reads, but again, I had more time earlier this year in 23 to finish those books, and I I don't think I've done that since high school. I didn't read in high school. I did like the short version of reading, like I skimmed the
I
shit.
went
So
to
I don't think I
I went to
actually
Spark
read
Notes.
books. Yeah, exactly. Smart note. I don't think I actually read books. Like I think middle school was one of the last times.
Yeah. I don't remember when I necessarily picked up a book, unless not even now, because I'll go to like websites that have automatic, like maybe not an automatic, but I'll read like manga. So
Yeah,
I guess those are books in a way, but they're not like as wordy.
right.
I have picked up a book or so here, um, in this past year, but I've never actually made it through it all yet, sadly. Um, but it's just find finding the time or having the interest in wanting to read it, and whatnot is my biggest thing right now. Is like, I don't want to read. If anything, I'm reading books to my children, and I'll count that as a good accomplishment where my kids want to
That
read books.
counts.
Yeah, I mean it counts, even if it's like a 5 minute story. It's just nice. Again, that's part of the connection thing too, where they want me to read to them. Um, and I've noticed that it has helped them too. Uh, this little booger right here, she actually enjoys story time as well.
Oh,
She'll
really?
Yeah. So like when I'm reading to her brothers, she'll sit with me. We'll read the stories. Yeah, I'm not reading like complicated books or anything like that. More or less books that are her age appropriate. Um, but it's really nice, and it also helps encourage reading behavior as well. So, trying to get my boys to actually do that as well. And Nico, funnily enough, is actually one that has been picking up books, and trying to read them on his own, um, which is impressive because they're
And
books
he's
that
how
we've
old?
read. What?
How old is he again?
He's 4.
Wow, good for him.
Yeah, it is good because what it shows is, yes, it shows the initiative. And this is kind of one of those proud moments here that I guess I haven't shared before. Um, but it's books, even though I've read them multiple times and he knows kind of what's going on, he's still trying to mimic that, which is great because it's helping
Yes,
with his own speech as well, helping
yes.
him develop those words. So, it's definitely a big moment, a big accomplishment, of what reading to my children has showing some sort of payoff there. Um, and, overall, I think that's huge. Um, so, I mean, good for him. wanting to pick up the book and read it as well, knowing that it's about his bedtime, around his bedtime too. So it may
Yeah.
be him thinking, okay, well, if I start reading, Dad will let me stay up a little later while I'm in bed or whatnot. But it's like, no,
Well, yeah.
it's a double edged sword in a good way. Um,
Yeah.
you're you're teaching yourself how to read a little bit by looking at the words, I guess. Um, at the same time, it's educational, so I'm going to let you try to get through it uh, and whatnot. So yeah, that's certainly a proud moment and an accomplishment. There's that reading to my children's paying off or paying dividends when they're trying to do it on their own as well. So, and not actually being forced to read either. Sometimes you got those children that you have to force them to read because it's like homework essentially.
Yeah. Like
Whereas,
what I did.
Nico right now is willing to pick up his own book and try to read it on his own. Um, and then we'll see how that all turns out later on as he gets older. But yeah, so those are some big accomplishments there for the year.
Awesome.
Even even the reading one, it's not like super big, but it's still an accomplishment. Um, but yeah, I mean, I guess another thing too here that I wanted to bring up is I made it through a year of hell in a sense. Um, I know back in 2022, life was kind of hellish, but through through middle of September and October, did make it through some hell or like anniversaries of deaths. Um, and I noticed there was some rage building up, knowing that there were death anniversaries. Um, but overall, I mean, I made it through it. So
Good.
family was able to make it through. We did lose some more people in 2023 as well. Uh, so we're all. I think we've come a long way from that point of time, and it's just one of those things where we're all healing, even though we probably don't talk about it much. But it's definitely interesting to see how people are healing and going through the change of process or not having people that we've had in our lives for many many years. So I think it's kind of like an accomplishment knowing that we're not necessarily dragging our feet because X amount of people passed away within
Yeah.
all this time, in a quick succession, I'll say. But yeah, so
I'm glad you guys made it through it, the anniversary. I know 2022 had some hard shit for you.
yeah,
Hard shit.
that it certainly did. But we made it through, and glad we're still pushing forward, still moving forward. So,
Yeah.
um,
Keep moving forward.
keep moving forward. In the words
Yep.
of from the Meet the Robinsons, right? Keep moving
That's
forward.
right.
I haven't seen that movie in a while, but it's still a good movie.
Love it.
Yeah, it is.
Great
At
message.
first, I was kind of against it. Um, I didn't really want to watch it, but then all of a sudden, I started watching it more and more, and I think it just kind of wears on you after you start watching it over and over.
Yep.
So, yeah, keep moving forward. Can't stop. Once you stop moving forward, you fail essentially.
Right.
So, but yeah, um, I don't have anything else. So, you folks, I will let you go. Enjoy your wonderful New Year's. We will be back on the third, or we'll get something out for you guys before or just after the New Year here. So, um, if anything, again, if you want to let us know, email us, Facebook, TikTok, whatever. You know where to find us. Um, Interact with us however you want to. If you want to be a guest on the show, definitely email us so we can get your information so we can get that up and running here. But guys, have a great rest of the year of 2023, and we will see you next year.